What's up, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor from Carolina Cat Chronicles, bringing you the C3 podcast. Tonight is Godfrey. Cam Newton's got a broken rib, and I would not say I'm excited tonight, Joey. Let me go ahead and introduce my co-host, co-founder of CarolinaCatChronicles.com, Joey, that freaking Puerto Rican Riolano. Say hello.
What's happening, Panther Nation? Interesting week ahead of us. Interesting 2 weeks ahead of us. Can't wait to see what's going to go down. We got a chance to grow as an organization here. Cam has a chance to really solidify himself as a leader and do some good things.
Joey, you said that this is an opportunity for us. How can you be optimistic in this moment? My question to you is, everybody else in Panther Nation, or a lot of people, proclaim that the sky is falling. Are you in that category? Why or why not?
No, I'm not. I'm not in that category because I believe Cam has the will to get out there and play through the ankle and play through the rib. He's always had kind of questionable preseasons. Never had a great preseason. And there are just those people who, when the lights aren't on and when it's not for real, they're not in it. But when the lights come on and it counts, they show up big time. And I believe Cam's that kind of a person.
I don't know. I mean, at some point, you got to wonder why he's not connecting on these big throws a little bit. You know, I think for me, I'm not concerned about Cam Newton in the way that he's the best player on the field for the Carolina Panthers pretty much at any time, unless you're talking about the defensive side of the ball. So I'm not really worried about it. I think we do get overhyped on it, but I do want to see him improve more, you know, because I want to see him capture his greatness. And this is where what we've had now is 2 out of 3 seasons, Joey, he's not been a participant in camp, really. You could say his rookie season, they had the shortened camp because of the lockout.
Right.
This year, he's barely played. I mean, he's taken reps and some things, but he has not played to the intensity that he needs to be playing. Last year, things were a bit in turmoil with the second year, I guess, with Chudzinski a little bit. You know, things were kind of strange there. So, I mean, I'm not freaking out, but I want it to be better. You know, I don't want him to be the question mark. And what do you think about his injuries? Is he starting to break down, Joey?
No, I don't think so. You know, the ankle, supposedly, that's been going on for a long time. And from what I've read, anytime you do a surgery on the foot, lower leg, things tend to tighten up just because of the suturing, and I guess, you know, the skin gets really tight. So over time, it will gain some of its elasticity back and stretch and get, I guess, comfortable. So I think that's part of what he has been dealing with, some tightness, but I believe, you know, he's getting further and further out, so that should help to alleviate that. And then the other thing is the rib. That was a freak thing because he had on the rib protector flak jacket. Yeah, one rib.
Here, you mean this rib, Joe? You mean this one right here? Let's see. So, I mean, he's always in.
One ribs. No. One rib. One rib. That's one rib.
My question, Joey, with this one rib, that is nothing. To me, this is the second most important rib since women were made.
I would agree with that. At least the Panther fans, anyway. I think, you know, it's just bad luck because, like I said, he had on the flak jacket, rib protector, and It caught the knee in a crease where there's no padding. It's just a fluke thing. The odds that happened one time in 100. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure it's painful. I know they'll do everything they can to make him comfortable. And like I said, I think he's one of those people that would just fight through it. He's been fighting through the ankle. He'll fight through the rib.
Okay. Right now, Joey, you sound like a homer, which you are. I understand that.
Totally.
But with this, are we being too easy on Cam Newton? As a culture of Panther fans, are we saying he's the second coming, and he's really? Are we letting him slide and are we making excuses for him?
This is really fantastic that you're bringing this up, because on Monday I was listening to the Mac Attack, and there was a really big disparity in Panther Nation amongst Panther fans. I was shocked at the number of fans who believe Cam is not the answer, that he's not the real deal. They were saying he's not progressed enough. They were saying that, he runs the ball as opposed to being a pocket passer. He can't make all the throws. So they were suggesting that we move in another direction. And it just I felt like I was at church listening to blasphemy. That's what it was to me. I needed to get out of there.
It was a fart in church. That's what that was. That was so uncomfortable and awkward. That's the silliest thing. All right, I had a hard time asking you that question, Joey. I really did, with a straight face, because you know me and my Cam Newton. I got a man crush on Cam Newton. And here's what I got to say is yes, all right, to these people, I agree. Cam Newton, he has struggled at times to go through his progressions. Yes, he holds on to the ball too long. Yes, he's not decisive enough in what he wants to do. Does he want to tuck it and run, or does he want to throw it away? He's always trying to eke out that extra second. Yes, he throws off his back foot at times. Yes, he has poor feet mechanics at times. But also, Joey, yes, he is the most amazing player we've had here since Julius Peppers.
Oh, please.
Except for Luke Kuechly, right? No, not oh please, oh truth, oh Godfrey. On top of that,
lazy.
Don't be talking junk about Julius Peppers.
He was lazy.
He's not lazy.
Yes,
the Panthers stunk. The Panthers stunk, and he was. Dude, defensive ends do that mess all the time. They pick and choose their moments when they battle, and he was just better at picking than some other people were.
Yeah,
but
picking his nose and not being into the game.
Bull. All right, so back to what I was saying is that yes to all those things, we can pinpoint these these real flaws in Cam. But that is disregarding all the greatness that he brings at the same time. It's only focusing on one segment, is that like, oh, he's got poor foot mechanics, or whatever. My question to any Panther fan out there who is not a Cam believer or thinks that he is part of the problem is one simple thing. Who's the answer? Who's the answer? Is it Blake Bortles? Nope. And would we have had a shot at getting him? No. Is it Teddy Britt? Like, what person would you rather to be in that position than Cam Newton? Because here's the thing, is with everybody comes a certain amount of flaws, except for maybe Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees. I say there's flaws with Peyton Manning and the fact that he don't win big games. So why my thing is this, is why alone is the bad or the less than perfect with Cam enough to bring the visceral reaction from Panther fans? Is it because he's black?
I don't think so.
Well, I believe, dude, that it's too much. It's too much of people wanting Cam Newton to be what they want him to be, rather than who he is, right? And let me go ahead and just segue to this, is what have we seen with Cam Newton's play to this point? We have not seen very much of him, right?
Right.
Did he play in the he only played in that one game, right, Joe?
Kansas City.
Did he play no, against New England? Did he play against Kansas City as well?
Yeah.
Okay. We've seen a very limited sample group of Cam Newton. And when you saw this, Joey, let's go ahead and be hard on him. What did you see that was wrong or poor? What were you disappointed with Cam Newton? And then we'll talk more about the offense.
It was the couple things: the missed passes, the overthrows, and he held the ball too long a couple of times.
Always, but that's always what he does.
Right. Those were the two big things. But going into year 4, you should be getting to the point now to where you have that mental clock going. Yeah, gotta get rid of it. Gotta get rid of it. Gotta get rid of it. You should have that going into year 4.
He hasn't. But he doesn't have to get rid of it. See, that's the thing. You remember the Patriots game where he juked the whole team out of their shoes? Remember the Atlanta game where a 6 tackle struggle? So sometimes his greatness, the things that we love so much about him, are actually in many ways the problem with, he's like a Greek tragedy, Joey. Like the old Greek tragedies where they have the character and his greatest flaws become his downfalls at the same time. So Cam Newton thinks he can hold on to the ball because he can't be tackled, which if he was a mere mortal, then maybe he would need to maybe his clock needs to be different. I don't know. I wasn't happy with that game. He did not look good. He looked like the worst person in the offense at the time. But to be fair, is crotchery the answer? Is Avant really? Are these guys? Do we have the right mix for Cam Newton to succeed?
We better hope so.
No.
This is what we're going with. We better hope so, because that's what we are lining up with come September 7th at 4 o'clock. He's gotta develop some kind of chemistry with these guys. He's got to. Is he still out for Pittsburgh?
Yes. He's not going to play at all. Yeah, he's not going to play. I didn't think we should have played him at all. I think we should have just started him against Tampa and just called it then. About that, Joey, with this chemistry and with these players, I want to talk about the mix of these guys a little bit and the routes that we ask our receivers to run. Is it just me, or is it the way the camera works when we're watching the television, right? It seems like we ask our receivers to run routes that take a long time to develop. And that then forces that you're waiting for the routes. Like, they'll run all the guys on a go down the field. And so Cam's got to wait for them to go. And is it a poor mixture or balance on the route running?
I think that's probably a part of it, but at the same time, it depends on what the defense is doing too.
Okay.
It kind of is a bit of both. If you're running quick routes and the defense is playing in a zone, you might be able to get something going. They're running quick routes and they're playing press coverage, then you're going to run into things are going to be, you're going to gum up the works because the guys aren't able to get to where they need to be because they're getting hit at the line of scrimmage. So it depends on what you're trying to do. It really looked like the Panthers were just very vanilla.
Right.
And the
Well,
Patriots.
were they gaming?
I think so. I think the Patriots really wanted this. I think just because, I really have to believe it was because of the game last year, Monday night, how it ended, and there was some controversy. It really wasn't a penalty, but Brady, you remember Brady running up to the ref and
Yeah, and being Brady.
And being Brady, yes.
Channeling his Bill Belichick.
Exactly. So I think that gave them a little extra motivation where Carolina came in not with that same mentality. They came in treating it as, I'm sure they did a little more preparation than they had the previous 2 weeks, but still not to the degree the Patriots showed up with.
All right. I have a point I want to make about that. Before I do that, I want to plug a couple of things. First, everybody check out CarolinaCatChronicles.com. It's the hottest Panther fan site out right now, or at least that's what we're trying to make it. I'm going to go ahead and be honest. That's what I want it to be. We're working terribly hard on it. If you are watching on YouTube right now or later on, look down at the little yellow words right here that says join in the conversation. What it will do is showcase our featured story that I just put up. Godfrey, no safety in Carolina secondary is the story. So I'd like everybody to check that out. Also, we'll be talking about that in a moment. I'd like to plug a couple of people as well. Number one, my boy Clip Brock at Pirate Radio 1250 Pirate Radio. The sports bar every Monday. Check out C3 the Professor on talking the Panthers. And Joe, tell them if they're in Charleston what they need to be thinking about.
In Charleston, we have started the Carolina Panthers Fan Club of Charleston. We get together every time there's a Panthers game at Southside 17 at Tanger. They have beer specials, drink specials. They've got great food. We get together and watch the game. We're kicking it off on September 7th, 4 o'clock against the Bucks. Like the fan page on Facebook, and please come on out. Let's watch the Panthers win. It's always more fun to watch the Panthers, I think, with other fans.
Yeah, and if you also have questions and comments in the show, tweet us, hashtag C3 or at Cat Chronicles. I got the feeds pulled up right now. Okay. Let's go on and talk about this. I talked about this with Clip on the sports bar for a moment, and I don't know if I buy this. Well, I don't know if I like this theory that the New England Patriots game plan for us, Joey, and we didn't prepare for them. Why are we not more prepared as a unit then? Or was it just the fact that, why would one team care and the other team not at all? I mean, that just seems so strange to me.
I don't know that they didn't care. I don't know why Carolina didn't show up to play.
We had a lot of injured people. That's one thing. We did not really have our starting team out there.
Big Money wasn't there. That hurts. Because he's definitely an upgrade over Horton, who played, I believe, in his stead on Friday. And that makes a big difference on defense. And I think some of our offensive linemen were out, too. So that affects, the pass.
Yeah, Nate Chandler was out, and also Trey Turner was out. But on those notes, is Nate Chandler, just 2 years ago, was a defensive damn tackle.
Right.
And 2 years ago, Trey Turner was in high school. So, I don't like to think that alone is enough to sideline us or to make us that so least competitive or whatever, that's non-competitive.
Really weren't.
But, no, not at all. But we've talked about the New England game already in Selection Saturday, which was fun. We had a good time. The team names for the C3 Fantasy Football Challenge, all 48 team names are listed on the website right now. There are some wild ones. There are some vanilla ones. There's the Mike Shulas. I would call those the vanilla ones. And then there's the Horny the Clownies, which are not so vanilla. But I want to talk about a conversation that arose today as I was listening to Bustin' Loose with Frank Garcia. I listen to an absurd amount of WFNZ 610. I just leave it on in the background at work. These people must think I just sit and not do anything all day. But, when I'm at my desk, I just have it turned down low, and I listen to it. I'm working, and I'll be tweeting them. So there were guys calling in talking about how Derek Anderson would be more successful than Cam Newton. Now, I think the guy was drunk when he said it. Or at least I'm going to say he was. But then, this has gone further into the fact that Derek Anderson all of a sudden is a good quarterback. So, this broke down into tonight where things went further, where I mentioned to Frank Garcia that this is baloney. My phrase is this, Joey, is that DA is nothing but a BU. DA is a backup.
Right.
I'm sorry. And so then he said he can essentially, Frank Garcia said this, 5 to 10 teams, he's better than their starting quarterback. I call Mike Malarkey. How do you feel about this? Are you a 5 to 10 Derek Anderson type guy?
I would say yes. I think it's closer to 5 than 10, but I think he's probably better than at least 5 NFL quarterbacks. I'll name them.
Okay.
I would say he's better than Chad Henne. I would say he's better than Matt Schaub.
Who does Chad Henne start for?
Jacksonville.
All right, that doesn't count because they have Blake Bortles.
What do you mean it doesn't count? He's a starting quarterback.
He's not the starting quarterback. He hasn't started one damn game yet.
Well, he's been named.
Hey, hold that list real quick. I want to mention Abby Lewis. She just tweeted us, and she said that part of the reason we were not, we were not preparing for New England, she said, but instead we were trying the 2, 3, and the second, third, and fourth stringers running plays to see how they would work into that. She also went on to say that, hey, Luke and some of the bigger names would have played beyond the first quarter if we cared about it. I agree with that.
Sure, totally.
Cam Newton showed up in the third.
Right.
Was it the third? Was that I feel like I'm blending it with Kansas City. So I think he should have. I mean, he came out. He trotted out for the third quarter. It might have been about. I can't remember. Somebody tell me if it was Kansas City or not. I'm so sad still about that game. I agree. And you know what? Like Clip said on the Sports Bar, Joe, is that if there is one team that would do that, and
That's
one coach
Patriots.
that would do it, is the Patriots.
Yes.
So,
True.
okay, so back to this. DA is not a BU.
Yes. So we've got Chad Henne, Matt Schaub. We've got the quarterback for the Texans. We've got the quarterback for the Rams now.
All right.
And
Also doesn't count.
Okay, maybe. I mean,
Because the Rams don't have a starting quarterback either. Their starting quarterback is
the backup.
the entire So, and also that's the way I feel about Chad Henne. Is he really a starter? Is he just trying, or are they just saying that shit? So
He
that
was a starter last year. I mean, he's been there a couple of years.
Okay, keep going.
And then we've got him better than Matt Castle.
No,
I
wash.
say no.
Wash. That's a wash,
He's
dude.
better than him.
That's a total wash. What the hell has Derek Anderson done that's been better than Matt Castle?
Derek Anderson has been to the
What,
Pro Bowl.
cried? What,
He's
did
been
he
to the Pro
cry? He
Bowl.
cried on national TV?
Did Castle
After that-
ever go to the Pro Bowl?
Well, he got a bigger paycheck than damn Derek Anderson. Who's got more money?
Okay, well, I mean, I can't argue that.
Hey,
And then I might even go so far as to say Derek Anderson might be better than Carson Palmer.
that's what Frank Garcia said.
Yeah.
You know, this is a lot of conjecture based on a guy that you have not seen play game speed in like 5 years.
Probably about right.
You know, is that the only time the toughest matchup you've seen from DA was Kansas City, was the game he started against Buffalo.
Right.
You ain't seen him against any competition and at all. So to say that he's better than these guys is like saying that Matt Hasselbeck is better than those dudes, which I actually believe Matt Hasselbeck could still start. I think he should go to Oakland. But the question is or actually it comes back to this. The backup quarterback, who loves him, Joey?
Everybody.
Everybody loves him. And, you know, DA is dumb. Have you listened to him talk? He ain't smart. It's not like I think this is total hogwash. I think this is all like, hey, he made a couple of good plays against some second stringers in the preseason 2 years in a row. He has no arm strength. It's to say that he would be better in Miami than Tannehill, which is what Frank Garcia said, is bogus too. They had zero offensive line. I think if he's so good, why don't we trade him?
Well, I know, from what I understand...
Don't say we're so scared
No.
that Cam ain't going to be around.
I think there were people who were offering him more money. Teams were offering him more money than we were. But he likes it so much here, he wanted to stay here.
Oh, he likes it because everybody loves him and he sucks and people think he's awesome here?
Well, I think because his wife likes it. You know, he's getting ready to have some children. And I think he wants a nice place to raise his family, and Charlotte's a great town.
And people would realize he is not that good if he was a starter. I'm sorry, I don't buy it, but okay. So DA is better than, he's more than a BU on 5 teams. I'm surprised you didn't mention Cleveland.
Well, of course, I think that's a given.
It's a given, wow.
Yes.
Or Geno Smith.
Right, the Jets.
I think that's overrated. I think people are too hard on Geno.
He's got a chance to do pretty good this year. We'll see what he does. Decker is going to help. They got Chris Johnson. So we'll see.
He won like 6 or 7 games his first season.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Didn't they win like 6 games last year?
I think so. 5 or 6.
As a rookie on the Jets?
Right.
I mean, that's not, I mean, he can't have been but so bad. He did have like a 12 quarterback rating for like the other 10 games.
Right.
All right, let's go on then, because we totally disagree on DA. Joe Webb, by the way, vote for Joe Webb 2015, or actually 2014. But I'm campaigning for Joe Webb. I think he's just got a higher ceiling than Derek Anderson does. See, Derek Anderson is the dude that just everybody likes. Is like, he's just going to, you know what he's going to do is he's going to just be okay. And that's it. Can't be more than that. But he is big. He ain't a little dude, so he doesn't have to pee his pants like David Carr did when he gets the pass rush. All right. So, big development tonight. I saw some people were cut, by the way. I think it was is it Toonie or Tony?
I think it's Tony Clemens.
Okay. I like Toonie. Toonie Clemens. Toonie Clemens was cut, I think. A backup center was cut. But D.C. Jefferson was cut. The huge guy.
Yeah, he's a monster.
God, he's enormous. I don't think it's surprising. I think we knew who were going to be the 3 tight ends.
Right.
And Brockle counts as a tight end on the depth chart, so or whatever he is. So we could see that coming. But Joey, we suffered an injury. The story today, Joe Person reported Charles Godfrey taking snaps at strong safety with Roman Harper as well. What does this signal to you?
I think they're concerned about Harper, whether it be his toe or just his general ability.
Oldness?
Yeah, his age. And I like the move personally. I think Godfrey made a good safety. I don't know that he was great, but he made a good safety. He's coming back from injury, so hopefully he can stay healthy and give us a little more depth in our secondary. I think it's good to have a guy that can go between corner and safety. You know, he can play either one. I like what I see from Deku so far this preseason.
He's played better than Atlanta fans think he is.
Agreed there.
They hate him.
Yeah, they do.
With Godfrey, I think that, let's just go ahead and say this, is that he didn't look good at corner.
He struggled there.
At training camp, I heard you say Godfrey got burned at least twice. I mean, like, at one point you said, dang, they made a fool of him. Then in the game against Kansas City, the 7-Eleven dude, what's his name? Hogan.
Hulk Hogan?
No, Hulk Hogan. Far from it. Chris Hogan, he used to play in Miami with Reggie Bush. That's where he got the nickname 7-Eleven, because he's always open, supposedly. He had that big catch down the right sideline where they had that pick play where the guys got caught up.
Yeah, that's right.
And Godfrey was in on that play. And, you know, that was just kind of a tough play. I understand that. So I'm not trying to be overly hard on him. But what I think that play exposed was the lack of ability of us to go man-to-man. You know, or not a lack of ability, but the difficulty we face in going man-to-man.
Well, we're very vulnerable in a man-to-man situation. We really are. If we don't get to the quarterback, we can get hurt.
So I like Godfrey going to safety in this case, but this tells us something else, Joey, is that Lester did not have, from the accounts that I've read, the greatest training camp or preseason so far. Then he suffers an ankle injury that didn't look like to be a little one. I mean, obviously it's not a surgery type ankle injury, right, but they rolled his ass out on the cart. He didn't hobble off. And Lester is one of those guys that is like, if he played really well, that it's a plus. It's not that you expect him to be like the Bird guy in New Orleans or something. On top of that, you have Trey Boston, who hasn't played at all because he's got a sports hernia. And let's be honest, he's not going to be that good. He's not ready to be an NFL starting safety. I think this is a real vulnerability for us, Joey. I think corner is a vulnerability for us. I think we're better at it than potentially I expected with Kason. I think Kason's okay. I like Melvin White a lot. I think Ben A. Sticky Wiki has a high ceiling. But if Roman Harper's hurt, if Robert Lester is hurt, Who the hell is left other than Godfrey?
Right, that's it.
Colin Jones, right?
Right, Colin Jones, but he's more a special teamer. I don't think he can start every game at safety. He's not that talented. No disrespect to him. He's a very hard worker, but he doesn't have the skill set that these other guys have.
Yeah, this is something that worries me, and it goes back to this, Joey, and I want everybody to please go check out Godfrey, no safety in Carolina's secondary. It's the story that I just put up on CarolinaCatChronicles.com just before the show, so we're showcasing it. You can check it by the get involved or whatever the little yellow words say. I think it says join in now or something. Join the discussion. But for me, this is a worry, Joey, and it goes back to this. Miami, Buffalo, San Francisco, New Orleans, the Patriots, Arizona, all those games last year, our secondary just got worked. And it was because the pass rush was not effective. And what this requires, when you put these pieces back there in the secondary that are just good enough, it requires our front four and our front seven truly, but our front four mostly, to get after the quarterback on every single down.
Right.
And when they can't, and there are moments where they just don't. You know, I mean, no matter how great they are, you can't sack them every play. And every play last year where we didn't get that pass rush, Joey, I held my breath. And I can think of one play specifically. The last play of the Miami game, we're up by a smidgen, like 2 or 3 points or whatever we won by. And they got the ball, they're moving it, and there's like 0 seconds left, so you know it's going to be just a deep-ass bomb to Mike Wallace. And it was, and Mike Mitchell somehow at the last moment, he was burned, dude. Yeah. He was beat up like scrambled eggs. And he got out there and got a fingertip on that sucker and luckily deflected it. But when you know that the play's going to that guy, and you know that's going to be the play, and you still can't defend it, that's tough. And I worry that that's going to be a weakness for us this year. Am I overthinking it? Am I over-worried? Is this something that is more troublesome? I think this is more troublesome than the wide receivers.
Oh, I would agree with that 100%. It is troubling. It is reason for concern. If it's showing up already in the preseason, you know what I mean? It makes you wonder when the things count for real. So, how can we possibly offset some of this concern? One possible way is the waiver wire. When teams are cutting these guys to trimming their rosters down, we got to see who's being cut. We may need to bring somebody in. I don't think it would hurt us to bring somebody in.
But we got to bring like 4 people in, dude.
Right. Well, I'm just saying at the very least.
Just think about this. What if Roman Harper is hurt, which he will be? You know, I mean, he's like 80. What if Antoine Cason gets hurt? What do you do? Do you roll the whole season? Josh Norman, Josh Thomas, James Dockery, Melvin White?
No Dockery.
No Dockery? That's Willie P's boy. Chocolate Wonderland loves Dockery.
I know. I think it would definitely.
I say no Thomas.
Yeah, I agree. No Thomas either.
Thomas is like a Steve Smith with no skills. And what I mean is that he's just fiery and a jerk, but he's not good.
But he can't play.
Right. I mean, but really, seriously, is that like right now, in the perfect scenario, Joey, our secondary is trash.
Yeah. We do have great reason to be concerned. And really, I think that's the only way we can address it is through some of the guys that are being cut from other teams.
But how good could they be?
Right. I mean, you know, you're hoping you find that gem.
That their garbage is better than our garbage?
Right.
So are we going to like the rich people neighborhood and picking up their trash?
Right, exactly.
Okay. Who is the rich people neighborhood in the secondary? Seattle?
Probably.
I mean, like...
Maybe we get Jimmy LeGree.
Jimmy LeGree? Okay. Oh, speaking of Jimmy LeGree and that, and I want to go back. Let's take it back to the wide receivers now because we talked about the secondary. And look, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this: secondary could be our worst nightmare ever. I mean, it could be awful. And you know, we were one play last year away from the secondary being horrendous. Mike Mitchell has to thank everybody. He needs to thank that front seven. He should send them all beautiful watches for Christmas. Because, I mean, it's not that Mike Mitchell wasn't good. I like Mike Mitchell. I was a big Mike Mitchell fan, and I wanted him to stay. But it's not like he was the answer. You know, I mean, he was strong back there when he played the right role, when he was aggressive, when he was blitzing, when he was tackling up, when he was getting in the box. But he's not like a top 5 safety in the league, I don't think. But going back to that is that we were one player away from it being a problem last year, and I could really see that being the issue this year, Joey. One injury, one hiccup, one guy on the front 4 that goes down where you don't get that pass rush consistently as much as you want, and then you're having some problems. But what I want to talk about again, I want to go back to the offense and to the receivers for a second. What I meant by those, and the Jimmy LeGree comments sparked it with me. When I was talking about those routes, Joey, where the mixture of routes may not be potentially the best combination, I feel like we have, what we need is 3 levels of routes. You know, you need the deep route, you kind of need the middle route, and then you need the short underneath route. And I don't think we have any speed underneath, Joey, that has to keep guys up and honest. And so I feel Bruce Ellington, from South Carolina University, who went to the San Francisco 49ers, who I hate them just for everything that they are. I think somebody like that could have just mixed the offense up just enough to where the mixture was better. And that's what I'm worried about, Joey. Is there any underneath speed? Is there any shifty speed? It doesn't have to just be downfield Tyquan, high hair Underwood who got cut speed.
I think the speed we have on the team right now would probably consist of Philly Brown. He is fast. I don't know if we can get him on the field with the ones. I don't know that he's there yet. But, I mean, yes, Ellington would have been a great pick for us. Maybe even Campanero.
Yeah, Campanero would have been strong too.
Yeah, he would have been a great pick for us. So yes, the something to mention. Maybe Justin Hardy can fill that role.
There you go. Oh, well, that is something great to mention.
That's a nice segue.
Segue to this, another plug for CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Thank you for tuning in or listening later. You can download us on iTunes or tune in on Stitcher. We have just launched an important campaign for Panther Nation. If you are not from Eastern North Carolina or an ECU Pirates fan, you might want to listen even more carefully. If you're an ECU Pirates fan, you probably already know about this, and that is the countdown to Justin Hardy coming to the Queen City. There is a little-known receiver in the country who just happened to be like 30 catches last year, who is playing with a quarterback who is like a little Brett Favre back there. And Justin Hardy is going to be the real deal. He's going to make it in the NFL. Will he be a number one? Probably not. I think he could be a wonderful number two receiver, an excellent complement to Kelvin Benjamin. And Carolina Cat Chronicles is the first people, we are leading this. We're the campaign managers for the countdown for bringing Justin Hardy to the Queen City. You can check out the page on CarolinaCatChronicles.com where we will be featuring stories about Justin Hardy all season long. We have the nice little countdown clock that says this is when my man's going to be moving to Charlotte. He's from North Carolina. He's got hands that are as good as Benjamin's. This guy is awesome. So we're going to need somebody that is a playmaker like that. I think that he would be an excellent fit beside Benjamin. But let's talk about Philly Brown, and let's talk about this return game. And one of my guys that I think that could make a difference this year that I won't say nobody won't see coming, is that maybe we're just all looking for that fourth stringer that's going to excel in the NFL. Fozzie Waka Waka Whitaker. The punt and return game, Joe Person reported tonight, Joey, was Philly Browns to lose. Like, basically, they're endorsing him as the punt and kickoff returner. When was the last time Carolina had one guy that did both all the time?
Steve Smith.
That did both of them all the time? Like, was... because what's his name did punt returns last year, right? Ted Ginn.
Yes.
Did he do kickoffs? I can't remember.
I think so. I think he did do both. No,
Okay. Is Philly Brown enough in that return game? He looked good against New England.
He did. He might be. He might be enough in the punt return game. I did hear, I've heard people throw out there that Carolina may need to look at bringing in a kickoff return guy. That's dumped from another team.
Like Jacoby Ford?
Perhaps.
Do you think Aaron just wants Jacoby Ford here so he can buy his jersey?
I think so.
Since his last name is Ford? Okay.
Sure.
What about Fozzie? Waka Waka.
As a kick returner?
Yeah.
I'm all for it. He's fast enough. Lord knows he's fast enough.
I mean, he's crazy fast.
He's got the wheels.
I mean, he scored. I saw him run a 97-yard kickoff return back in Texas. My thing is this, is with Fozzie, and maybe this is a good way to kind of blend our discussion of special teams and the running game. Two guys I like a lot on this team are Fozzie Whitaker, and even more so just as a personal kind of rah-rah Rudy story, which is Darren Reeves. I really want to see, I like Darren Reeves. When you look at that dude's thighs, I don't understand how you can't dislike them. They're like oak trees. And so what I want to know is this, is that Darren Reeves is probably going to be a casualty on this roster because he's not as much of a special teams contributor.
Right.
Philly Brown has got the kickoff returns, the punt returns. He also gets down there on tackles when we are kicking. So do you foresee any way Fozzie Whitaker being a factor in the actual Panthers run game this season? Waka Waka.
No.
Okay.
I just don't see it. I don't know where we can get him the ball, or who do we sit and give him, whose carries do we give him?
D'Angelo Williams.
Maybe.
I can't believe I just said that.
I can't believe that either.
I love him. He has not looked great. There's something going on with him. He has not been himself. He has not played great on the field. He has not signed autographs, and he has been historically one of the biggest autograph signers of Panther fans.
Mm-hmm.
He had the death of his mother. You just gotta wonder, is he? I don't know. I just don't know. Is it him? Is it the game? Is it the play calling? Every time he's on the field, Joe, you know what's going to happen. Run up the middle.
Right.
There's nothing else. They don't even throw the ball when he's out on the field, I feel like. So we have not seen Tolbert in the preseason. We really haven't. Have you seen Tolbert?
No.
Like 3 times. And that's it. Jonathan Stewart's back. Jonathan Stewart gets hurt. D'Angelo Williams is ineffective. What if we go Fozzie Waka Waka and Tolbert? Is that lunacy?
I think so. I mean, if the performance of D'Angelo Williams does not pick up and get better, it may happen. It won't happen right away, but it may happen over the course of the season.
At what point do you go? At what point does the money not make the decision anymore?
As we get into a race, as we get into like a division race, if D'Angelo Williams is not able to help us in our quest to repeat, when we get into the season, when we get later into the season, then I think at that point money doesn't matter because you want to win. And it doesn't matter who's helping you win as long as they're helping you win.
I don't like that. I don't like the idea of a guy, when he's on the field, things are just better, being kind of deferred to because of the money. But I just said that, and that's the same stupid argument that people make for DA. So I take that back. Run, D'Angelo Williams, give him 500 carries this year. I don't care whatever you do because DA, you suck and you're a BU. Back up. But so Darren Reeves doesn't make this team.
Maybe he makes a practice squad, I hope.
Yeah.
I hope.
But can't people be claimed off the practice squad?
Truthfully, I don't know how that works. I do know that they bumped it up to 10 players from 8, I believe is what it used to be. Now you can keep 10, and I'm not sure how the whole who can take players from who sort of thing works. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we're winding things down, Joe. Tell me what you're going to be looking for in the Pittsburgh Steelers game because none of our starters are going to play. And obviously, if this is where this just drives me insane. We don't care about Game 3, which is the most important preseason game of all the preseason games. Preseason 1 game, nobody cares about. Preseason 2 game, kind of. And then we don't play anybody in the preseason, the 4th game. Why even have it? Why can't we just add 2 more games?
I think it's just because you're getting right there. You got to make those final cuts, and you want to give everybody that is on the bubble a chance to make it or break it, so to speak.
Well, why do they have to count these as games?
Well,
I know they don't count them, but they sell tickets to them.
They do.
They make it like it is a game. Why don't they just call it practice?
Why don't they just call it money grabbing? Because that's what they're doing. They're just taking your money. The quality of play isn't the same as during the regular season, but they
I just don't even get it. If it doesn't matter, it's just like so strange how some of the preseason matters, but other preseasons don't. So, like, the fourth game, it's like, well, we're not really worried about anybody by that point. I guess you're only looking at the guys on the fringe in game 4?
Pretty much. You're looking at the guys that are on the bubble that have a chance to make the team or may end up being a cut. You know, the coaches get a chance to play them for an extended period of time, let them work in different situations, and then they make the determination.
Okay, well, with that, let's play a little game real quick. Make it or not. Make it or break it, we'll say. Or make it or cut, whatever you want to pick it. Brenton Burson.
Oh, he's making it. I think
Tavares.
he's made it.
Okay. Tavares King.
I think he makes it. If Philly Brown, he's cut. If Philly, yeah, I think he's cut. I'm gonna say that.
Tavares King,
Yeah.
cut. Okay. How about, all right, Joe Webb's making it, we know, because
Last week.
Because of last week and because of
Whoa. No. 1 million. 1 million. That's all I want. Make that 1 rib to go.
So Joe Webb made it because there's 1 rib to go, right?
That's right.
How about this? Michael Zordick.
Gone.
Jason Avant.
He makes it.
Makes it. Marcus Lucas.
Gone.
Gone. Wow. So he's not on the bubble?
Well, can't keep everybody.
Not if you're Joey the GM. I'm trying to think of someone else that's kind of close to them on the bubble. What about somebody at linebacker? Jason Williams? I think he makes it.
Yeah, special teams. He's a special teamer.
And here's two for you. Josh Norman.
He makes it.
Josh Thomas.
I think he makes it too.
Jordan Gay. Oh, he's been cut because he kicked an 8-yard punt. How the hell do you kick an 8-yard damn punt, Joey? An 8-yard punt. My kid.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. That's about it for tonight's show. We are going to go ahead and just plug a couple of things again. Justin Hardy, Countdown Justin Hardy. Check us out, CarolinaCatChronicles.com. You can follow us on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. You can't hear us because Joey is moving his computer around like a damn tornado. But you can check us out on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. What I would encourage everybody to do is like us on Facebook, facebook.com/ or / whatever this / CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Check out our website. Come write for us. Come talk with us. Come hang out with us. Joey, tell them what you got.
That was a minor earthquake, is what happened here.
Oh, is that what that was?
Charleston sits on a fault line.
Okay.
Anyway, yes. At Joe Romano, you can follow me on Twitter. Charleston, the Carolina Panthers fan club of Charleston, meeting at Southside 17. We'll be doing raffles of various Panther swag over the course of the year. All that's going to be provided by the Fan Zone in Charleston for all your sports memorabilia needs, college, pro, whatever you want. Trust me, if you want it, they've got it, or they can get it. So yeah, check those two things out if you're in the Charleston area. The fan
Thursday night,
yes, Thursday night. Panthers, Pittsburgh in round 1, because I believe week 3 they will meet again.
And Thursday night is the
Draft night.
Fantasy Football Challenge draft night. And that's it. So my parting words to you guys, and to you specifically, Joey, don't be a DA. Instead, be a BU. All right.
All right. On
Good
that
night.
note, good night.